It was actually his idea for us to get into this car, and because he was working at a Sunoco station, or not a Sunoco, a Kendall station in Westfield. A lot of his friends were running cars, and he and I were scrap junking cars. And he said, "Don't you think we ought to have one?" And well, let's go see what we got. We had 747 Plymouths, so that's how come we chose the Plymouth for our car.
You were the mechanic on it. Did you build the car?
Well, we did together.
Yeah.
We had a different fellow driving, Dick Rotunda, and I one race. Our mechanics they had for the mechanic, they listed for mechanics. Well, they put me in it, and I looked around, and just about all the other the mechanics were regular drivers anyhow. So I stayed back in the back, so I wouldn't wreck the car. And when the race was over, then Dick went out in the next race and turned it upside down, and that was the end of our race car. So it was a quarter mile. And basically in the woods,
right?
Because it was he had it banked pretty good, but when they go over the bank, they'd actually disappear, and then they come back up out. And this, I don't know if Carl Hallmark's name has appeared yet.
No.
I couldn't tell you. I think he was from Westfield, but could have been Ripley. Well, anyhow, he went over the bank one day, and when he come out, back up over, the roll bars, the pieces of pipe were all sticking out of the windows, and
oh gosh!
And he had missing about half his teeth, so he had a big toothless grin. First 2 or 3 races that we took it over, we didn't have a welder at that time, and whoever was locking the rear end trying to weld the spiders was just welding bolts across, and about the first turn they went through, the whole rear end had come apart. And so I think it was about the 3rd race, because we were getting shorter rear ends with all those ones down in the junkyard. My dad had a block of Babbitt, and he melted it, put clay or something in each end where the axles went into because they had Chrysler had a floating axle that bolted in from the outside instead of having that lock in the middle.
Right.
And so he filled that whole gear assembly with Babbitt, and that never went out after that. He and I went to school together. He was a little younger than I am, but he was the driver the next year.
So the year that you were involved was Dick Rotunda.
Yeah. My dad was listed as a mechanic with it because he used his 1.5-ton truck to usually would jack the car up and hang it off the back and take it around. But one race up at Vans, that was the Ford, not the Plymouth. The engine, the engine went bad. They had to take the engine out of the truck to put in the stock car, but they also had to put the engine back in the truck to go get the stock car. Didn't put the hood on the truck. They just went and dragged the car back home.